Supervisors regular meeting. First item on the agenda is to approve the minutes of the May 3rd, 2011 regular meeting.
Mr. Chairman, I'll offer item number 1.
I'll second.
A motion is second. Any comments? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Item 2 on the agenda, receive and place on file drainage repairs to Drainage District number 141, Cooper Township, tile plug needs to be investigated and fixed, turned in by me. Drainage District number 29, Deer Creek, section 31, there's a huge blowout. 219, I'm sorry, 219. There's a huge blowout in CRP ground, turned in by Don Seltz and Kirk Seltz. Drainage District number 230, Johnson Township, section 22, a tile blowout turned in by the K family, Tom Condon. Drainage District number 54, Webster, joint with 58 Hamilton, the main open ditch in Washington Township, section 12. Farmington, section 12, open ditch appears to be not draining. Please investigate and turn it in by Fred Hopkins.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move to receive and place on file drainage.
I'll second that.
A motion is second. Any more comments? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Item 3 on the agenda, approve employment of Elizabeth Rager, Linda Mosley, Kimberly Shinflu, and Jeanette Opine as part-time peer staff for the Friendship Center at an hourly rate of $7.25 per hour, effective May 11, 2011.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move to the employments. And I'll second that.
A motion and a second. Comments? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Item 4 on the agenda, approve 28E agreement with Iowa Department of Natural Resources for maintenance of the Gypsum City OHV Park and authorize the Conservation Director to hire seasonal employees for the OHV Park.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move item number 4.
I'll second that.
Motion and second. Matt, comment?
Sure, this is a contract, I guess, over the last 6 months or so, we've been working with the Department of Natural Resources on an agreement to do maintenance activities at the Gypsum City OHV Park. They currently, in the past, have had an agreement between the DNR, Webster County Improvement Corporation, and the Webster County Wheelers for maintenance activities at that park. The DNR is kind of changing, with the changing of the governor, they've changed some of the way they're doing hiring and some of the things that they're going to be able to do. So they are looking at some alternatives, and we've been working with them in this process. The Gypsum City Park is set to expand by 500 acres here shortly. There's a committee that's being set up. Eddie's been asked to sit on that, and myself, as kind of an oversight committee for that facility as far as long-term management and maintenance to make that park what it was designed to be in the beginning. So this is kind of our way of wading into this process slowly, potentially looking at some maintenance activities that we could do. Basically, the way it would work is we would provide the oversight and administration of employees that we would hire on a seasonal basis to work at the OHV Park. They would provide equipment, fuel, all those sorts of things, and they being DNR. So we would just oversee those employees doing that maintenance activity. So that's what this agreement is. It's basically from May 15th of this year until November 30th of this year. Relatively small window here just to see, make sure that the working relationship does work. Let this oversight committee get their feet under them and come up with a long-term management and maintenance of this facility as it expands to 800 acres here over the next year. So, in a nutshell, that's what this agreement is about.
So Matt, how does this fit into your operations? Is this going to cause a problem for you, or is this a good thing as far as you're concerned?
Well, I think what it is, it's a nice way to grow our program. It provides us potentially some additional income sources so that we can look for other ways to raise money. As part of this contract, we will be charging an administrative fee to the DNR, and what we hope to do with that money is, in turn, have one or two of these seasonal employees would work at the OHV Park for part of the week, and then a little bit later here we'll talk on another agreement with potentially the city of Fort Dodge, where we could make a position more attractive, where they would work at OHV for a couple days, they would work for the city for a couple days, and they would work for the county for a day. And that would be, we'd be able to do that without money, that we don't have any money budgeted for that. So we would use those administrative fee dollars to pay for that employee to work on the county. So it's part of a long-term plan to potentially work with this group and potentially put a campground there, and generate some additional dollars for us. So that's kind of the big bigger picture, and this is kind of a way to slowly wade into that and make sure that the relationship's gonna work for everybody involved. There's a lot of groups involved. It's a designated state park, so the DNR's involved. Fee titles held by Webster County Improvement Corporation. There's some lease land for the gypsum companies. Webster County Wheelers is a private club. So there's a whole lot of pieces to this puzzle. And I think that's what this oversight committee is going to do is try to put together a nice package of how all these people work and what their jobs are, and how do we make this park for economic development and for the the riders that it was sold to be in the beginning. So that's the intent. Any other comments from that?
Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Item 5 on the agenda, approve 2080 agreement with the City of Fort Dodge Parks and Recreation and Forest Department for a seasonal shared natural resource technician 2 position, and authorize the conservation director to fill the position.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move item five.
I'll second.
Motion is second.
Again, this is kind of the same piece of the puzzle that we could maybe make some of these seasonal positions a little more attractive to an employee to be able to provide them, rather than just 16 hours a week or 24 hours a week, where we could provide them with a 40-hour a week on a seasonal basis job through November. Again, they would work at OHV, they would work for the city, and then they would work for the county. So basically what this person would do is provide maintenance activities for all 3 of those entities in a similar basis. So it would provide us with one person that's got a good background in trimming trees and maintaining some of the new city landscaping things. At least that's the conversation I've had with the city, what they would use the employee for. We would potentially use them for the water trail access sites and the trail development, some of those maintenance activities that are going to come online here over this next year. And then OHV would be mowing and grading of those trails out there. So again, this is just kind of makes it more attractive, and it makes it easier for us to recruit an employee for a longer period with these shared services and positions. Again, this would be an administrative fee that we would charge to manage this contract. The Conservation Board did approve this contract last night, and Corey has reviewed it. One thing that they would like to see before we move forward is some sort of addressing workman's comp and liability, depending on where they're working. So they've approved the contract with the addition of that language, and then approval of the county attorney. So that's where we're at on that
There'll
agreement.
be a new 2080 agreement.
Yeah, there'll be an addition to that, that discusses the liability and workman's comp issue depending on where they're working at.
You're okay with that, correct?
I would need to review the new clause, but the contract as it stands is acceptable, with the exception that I emailed you all about, that the Secretary of State also has to put the agreement on file. I'm sure they just omitted that in the rhetoric, just so all parties were aware.
Any comments, questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Item 6 on the agenda, approve addendum to contract 01-2008 with the Iowa Department of Natural Resources for shared naturalist services.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move the addendum to the contract. I'll second that.
Motion is second, comment on that?
This contract is, it's been in effect for about 6 years now with Department of Natural Resources. It provides environmental education at Kennedy, Brushy, and Dolliver. Basically what we do is we provide a full-time naturalist position. The county pays half of those expenses. The DNR pays half of those expenses. We manage the contract. The 3-year contract period is due up June 30th of this year. And again, with the current political environment, we felt that the best thing to do was just renew this on an annual basis right now based on the dollars that we had budgeted and the DNR had approved for this contract. And then next year at this time, we visit with it again. So basically, it's just a 1-year extension of the existing contract that we've been in.
Any questions from that? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.